What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fright School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So something quite interesting is going on surrounding Marvel Spider-Man 2, and that is the fact that a lot of the conversation around it has somewhat gone on the down low. Now, the conversation surrounding this game and even, say, a game like Starfield has actually been quite loud overall. If you actually subscribe, or depending on whom you listen to, you'd think both games were fighting against one another. Well, in reality, what's going on is Starfield has an earlier release date, so organically, you're going to see Starfield at the forefront of the conversation. But that's not necessarily my focus overall. There is something at the back of my mind that I think has really paused, that hasn't necessarily taken hold, especially when it comes to this game, which is a superhero game. And that is the, conundrum that I'm facing, and we're not seeing too much of conversations regarding the content of the game as I think we should. Now, when I say that, I'm coming from my perspective. So let me go ahead and break this down a little bit. So a game like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, even though it ended up being and turning out to be a game that, possibly a lot of people saw and did not necessarily vibe with, it had a lot of conversations going on around it. A game like Gotham Knights, one that came out that, for the most part, the internet was a little, caught off guard by the nature of an RPG superhero game. That also had a lot of conversations surrounding it in the months leading to its release. It seems like somewhere, somehow, the Spider-Man conversation has maybe in a sense, kind of stayed on a pause, and I'm not really too big, or nor am I keen on that happening, because I think what's happened is the entire conversation has just been so polarized that the game, which is supposed to just stand on its merits, is now somehow sitting in the conversational back burner until Starfield releases, which that's going to be happening, say, in the next few days, thereby leaving Spider-Man with about a month for the conversation to come up front. And nobody even knows if Starfield is actually going to, still continue to remain in the circuit. But here's also another challenge. This is not to say that Starfield is going to be some kind of, game changer, good game. In fact, here is where I see another risk. If Starfield happens to suck, that also is going to crowd the news space. Not saying Starfield is going to suck. I'm just saying whether Starfield becomes this phenomenal game or becomes this phenomenal disappointment that everyone has been looking forward to, it still has that potential to go ahead and cloud the conversation surrounding Spider-Man. Not in a negative way, but in a way where I think that if both games had just in a sense been held to their own merits, to held to their own goals and what it is that they wanted to achieve, without a lot of the console wars coming in to convolute everything, I think we would have had a much more pure conversation surrounding both games, and they would have been able to exist. Many gamers are going to play both of them. I'm looking forward to playing both of them. There's no way, you're not going to participate in playing a game like this. I mean, it's interesting to see the premise, that this new Spider-Man game is bringing forward, Kraven and all of the really cool stuff with Venom and so on and so forth. I mean, there's no doubt about that, people are looking forward to playing this game. The question is if the conversation can continue to come up as fans are looking forward to it. And at the end of the day, I think this is probably coming as a result of fans just probably wanting to enjoy their game, but the conversation and the conversation starters don't necessarily seem to be the most responsible when it comes to creating the dichotomy. Starfield is its own game. It's a space RPG. Spider-Man is its own game. It's an action-adventure superhero game. I see room for both of them to exist in the market and not necessarily bother, one community or the other. People can choose to buy whichever game they want to play overall. But seeing that, both games are exclusives as well, this has also kind of caused some kind of a conundrum as well, whereby the game that is coming out first among both of them and is coming out in the middle of or after Baldur's Gate and other titles is now the one that everyone is kind of hanging their expectations on to see what exactly is going to go on. But nonetheless, I'll try my best to continue to keep an eye out to see what's going on in the Spider-Man world. I hope the fans are looking forward to it and are not necessarily deterred by the conversation. One thing about Spider-Man is, as much as, the character is very unique to a lot of people, and even as I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, I still appreciate the character and appreciate the game, that Insomniac is putting together and wanting to make. So I guess we'll keep an eye out. I really want to see this game, and I want to see the new mechanics. These are some of the things that I'm actually looking forward to with Spider-Man. And, regardless, 54 days or so, they say the game is releasing. I'm going to be, trying my best anyways to create some time to play it. If I don't have time, that's where it's going to be the challenge. But I do look forward to actually playing this game when it comes out. Hopefully, God willing, nothing crazy happens. We don't get any delays, and, everything is all good and everything's all well and dandy. Talk to you guys in another video. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.